Today, I want to talk about topics that are really close to my heart and have been instrumental into my freelancing journey as I continue to build and grow a sustainable and successful freelancing business. Before we get to that, I want to welcome you to the Sustainable Freelancing, especially if this is your first time watching. And if you came from one of my videos, welcome back. I'm going to discuss why it's so crucial for you to be intentional in getting to know yourself and be aligned with your values as you grow as a freelancer. Now, these topics are important because they will serve as your backbone. If you take time to really work on yourself, freelancing will start to become manageable and sustainable for you in the long run. Now, I'm not going to make any guarantee that freelancing will be easy because it won't be, but I created this video to help shape your thinking and manage your expectations as you build your freelancing business. And you know what? These are really the topics that I wished I was able to watch or I was able to explore when I was starting back then. Because now, as I recall, I could have been kinder to myself or given myself more grace as I really discover or started to learn the ins and outs of freelancing. So if you're in that stage, I hope this video can help you and give you some clarity. Don't pressure yourself to complete this right away. Save this to your favorites and subscribe to get back to this. And there are some guided questions to help you reflect, so it's best to prepare your pen and paper. So why is it important to continuously learn about yourself? Here are the top reasons why. Now, a bit of a spoiler, the more you understand who you are, the smoother and way more enjoyable your freelancing journey will be. So first reason, you will discover what fuels your fire. So identify what you're naturally good at, because when you're aware of your natural skills, you can focus on tasks or projects where you are going to shine. Maybe you're a top-notch communicator, a detail-driven organizer, or a creative visionary. Knowing your strengths lets you lean into them with confidence. For example, consider a client-facing role if you are a people person, or if you consider yourself as one. Or if you're amazing with client communication, make that a highlight in your proposals and discovery calls. So your ability to connect will make you a natural fit for building long-lasting client relationships. So another example is if you're drawn to creative projects. Doing data-heavy tasks might drain your energy really fast. This is why knowing your passions and interests helps you avoid projects that consume your energy quick. So for me, I started as a general virtual assistant because my top strengths leaned into project management, creating and maintaining SOPs or standard operating procedures, and being an operations support. This means that any work or project that lets me solve something or anything, or where it allows me to organize and maintain a system, I was really so happy with it. So it did not feel like work because I really enjoyed what I was doing. And, even if I faced some challenges back then. So knowing your strengths and really honing them and even adding to them as you go along into your freelancing journey will help you shine, will help set you apart. Here's guide question number 1. Write down at least 5 skills or 5 things that you are really good at, or those that you can naturally do. When you do it, it's really effortless on your part, or it comes out naturally. So be very specific. So to guide you, here are some examples. It's very natural for me to communicate verbally or even in writing. So I find it easy to reply to emails, inquiries, or to talk through Zoom or any online communication tool. Second, I'm also excellent at organizing a messy system, which most business owners don't really have the time for. So my brain does a happy dance when I create a smooth flow of tasks where I know what step 1 looks like and what the next steps are. So take a screenshot of this guide question or pause so you can answer and you can really reflect into this guide question. Second reason is you slowly gain confidence to sell yourself. Now, when you're confident in what you bring or with what you have, bit by bit, you overcome self-doubt. Freelancing often means that you put yourself out there, and knowing yourself helps you handle rejections or criticisms with grace. So here's an example. If you're recognized that you're a little shy in communicating your value, you can practice ways to talk about your work confidently, like using testimonials or success stories. Or if you don't have any experience yet in freelancing, but you're already working in corporate, you can share relevant experiences that are aligned or related to the job opportunity that you're applying for. So here's a quick story. Now, back in 2021, I applied for an executive virtual assistant position, but I did not have any experience at that time. But I've already been working in corporate for a decade. Now, I remember keeping a script and preparing for it because ChatGPT wasn't available back then, just in case I get asked the question or any question similar to this effect: why have you applied when you don't have any experience yet? So here's a polished script that you can use as your guide to answer this type of question in a way that you acknowledge where you're currently at and you are also proactive with what you're capable of doing. You can say, yes, it's true that I don't have any experience yet in being an executive virtual assistant. But instead of being intimidated by that, I was actually excited because I bring with me a decade of experience working in corporate where I know how demanding the job of a CEO can be and how a dedicated and reliable support can help a CEO fully show up for his role that only he can do. I also understand that being a CEO in a startup tech company brings different challenges. So it's so important to protect his time and energy, which is where I come in, ensuring that nothing slips through the cracks and he's on top of what he needs to do. And I'm a firm believer that everything can be figured out, especially with the technology that we have now. So if I don't know something yet, it doesn't mean that I won't be good at it soon. That's it. Now, when you're clear about your skills and value, it's easier to present yourself without feeling an imposter. So here's guide question number 2. Write down at least 5 skills or things or areas that you're not good at or you don't know how to do it yet. But with research and continuous practice, you can then familiarize yourself and even be good at those things or with those skills. So again, take a screenshot or pause this video so you can answer. So third reason why it's so important to learn and really know yourself is you'll have a better and deeper understanding of your motivations. What that means is that you know what drives you. So let's say you are a single parent. 2 of your main goals might be, of course, to have a sustainable income where you don't just survive, but you and your family will also thrive in life. You have enough time for your child and also for yourself. So another example is if you are a breadwinner. Financial security would definitely be on top of your list. One of your whys can also be traveling the world, really learning about different cultures without feeling the guilt of why you're spending money on yourself. You could have saved that. You could have given that to other family members that could make use of that money. Or as a breadwinner, you can then start to invest your hard-earned money to a medical or maybe a life insurance. Or you might even be exploring stocks to diversify your income and further strengthen your financial security. My number one goal back then, like why I really wanted to succeed in freelancing so bad, was that I didn't ever want to go back to the rat race. Rat race for me was where I work 8 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, waiting for payday, paying the bills, feeling bad or guilty if I ever took a break from work, being in a toxic working environment where I can feel my body and my mind to its exhaustion and my body screaming for help, that I underwent a major operation. And while I was recuperating, people kept contacting me from work. And when I was back to work, the cycle just continued. So that motivator was so strong that while my confidence started to wither away with every rejection I received from the job opportunity that I applied for back then, I never lost sight of what I really wanted to happen for me. So that meant I was so determined to do whatever it takes. So while I was working in an online job from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. PHT, I was also working on my freelancing business from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. the next day. And then I wake up again around 5 a.m. to start with my online job. Now, of course, a quick disclaimer, I don't recommend any one of you to be working more than 12 hours, like I did when I started, because your health will definitely suffer. But this is just me sharing with you my experience and showing you an example that if your why, your motivators are so strong, the how will become easy as you move forward. Now, when you are clear about about why you are freelancing, it's way easier to stay motivated, especially on days when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't feel disciplined at all, when you just really want to rest or do something else. Because trust me, when you are starting, the challenging days feel like forever. I've been there and I know it all too well. So understanding your motivators lets you know and accept your limits with grace. This keeps you from saying yes to every project and stopping you from developing a famine or feast mindset, which can lead to burnout if you're not careful. So example, if you're a morning person, set expectations with your prospects or clients in advance about your best times to communicate. And also ask there so you can meet halfway or compromise instead of working around the clock, waiting for them to reply and you being available every single time because you are too shy to ask. So here's guide question number 3. List at least 3 reasons why you want to be a freelancer. Why do you want to be in this type of business? Be very detailed so you can visualize what you want to happen, visualize who you are in the next 3 to 5 years. And if you're wondering, this is also what I did back then. Like, who do I want to be in the coming years? How do I want to be perceived by people? What are the skills that I want to be really good at that I'm not good now or I'm not good yet at the moment? So take this seriously because while I'm giving you the guide questions and you can easily screenshot or you can easily remember it now, if you don't take any action, there won't be any progress at all. So that's just really a gentle nudge for you to screenshot this guide question, or if not, pause so you can answer. So last reason why it's so important to get to know yourself, not just one time, but it's a continuous progress, is you help create what your ideal work environment is or will be. Now, what does that mean, MJ? First, find what improves your productivity. Do you work best solo or with a team? Do you thrive with structure or a loose schedule? Knowing these preferences helps you create a setup that works for you, helps you manage your energy, and you're setting yourself up for success. It's like you're already planning for a process that will work for you and not against you. Second, by understanding your energy levels and preferred working style, you avoid taking on more that you can handle, helping you stay refreshed and productive and locked in on whatever it is that you need to finish. So for example, if you love working mornings and find evenings draining, structure your client calls and creative tasks around that peak time, of course, as applicable. Now I'm saying that because as you start, you might have clients that will require you to work in a graveyard shift for in the Philippines because that's daytime in the US and Canada, but this is just an example. So this little tweak can make a huge difference in your output and even overall satisfaction. So before, I didn't ever want to go to work outside or even a cafe because I easily get distracted. So I dedicated this room that you're seeing right now as my home office and built my routine around this room during work time. So there would be fewer distractions. It's only now that I'm in my sustainability phase, I'm almost 5 years in my business, that I needed a change in environment. So say when I write scripts for YouTube videos like this one, I prefer it outside of the house and work in cafes where there are a few people around me or where I can see movement because then I can focus, which is, I don't know, bizarre. So this is just me sharing with you that when I started, I was very strict with my schedule. I was somewhat close to rigid, my plans for myself. And now that I have had some experience in freelancing, my preferences change. So this means that if your preferences right now is this and that, it doesn't mean that you won't evolve. Of course, you will change for the better. So when you are in your preferred working environment, you gain mental clarity that helps in making decisions effectively. So you can choose projects, clients, opportunities that align with your values and long-term goals. So let's say now you have a fixed mindset, like a complete black and white thinking. As you continue to learn about yourself and improve for the better, from fixed mindset, I'm very sure that you are going to evolve into a growth mindset. So from having a scarcity mindset or a feast or famine mindset, you'll have an abundance mindset. And you can only be open to learning these things if you know who you are. So here is the last guide question. Describe what your ideal work environment is. What does it look like and feel like for you? Does it have a lot of sun coming into your room? Do you prefer working in cafes or outside of your home where you are surrounded by people? Do you want to work near the beach? All those types of scenarios. And you don't have to be like me when I started, where I was so rigid, like I just want to work here, because that worked for me. And I don't want you to feel limited. Like, create all of the scenarios that you can think of that will help you move forward. So when you're starting in freelancing, you might not have the ideal work setup yet, but of course, slowly you will get there. You don't have to rush anything that is really worth waiting for. I don't want you to feel like you should buy this and that because that's what you see on social media. Take your time, because this is you creating your own lane, so there shouldn't be any traffic, right? So again, you might not have the ideal work environment yet, but you thinking and planning for it helps you stay focused and slowly make this ideal environment into a reality. So take a screenshot again, or if not, pause the video and take your time in describing or in visualizing what this ideal work environment is. Now let's do a quick recap. So why is it important to know yourself as you start your freelancing journey? These are the 4 reasons. So number 1, it helps you discover what fuels your fire. Next, you'll slowly build confidence to sell yourself, put yourself out there, and have skin in the game. Third, it lets you have a better and deeper understanding of your whys. What are your motivators? Why are you doing freelancing? Lastly, you create your ideal work environment. Since you are the owner of your freelancing business, no one can dictate you. Maybe you can ask for suggestions or look for inspirations, but at the end of the day, it's you who's going to decide what will work best for you. Now, I'd recommend rewatching this video as many times as you can until it starts to sink in for you. Share this with your accountability buddies if you have one, or share this with a fellow freelancers also starting their journey. I'd love to know your answers to the guide questions, and of course, if you're comfortable, feel free to share them in the comments, and maybe you'll also meet your accountability buddy here. So that's it for me today, and I hope I help fuel that drive, that fire in you to get started or to keep going, or even provided some relief and clarity to your freelancing journey. So the next video will be about your freelancing journey, how to get started, part 1, which is ideal clients. So better hit that subscribe button now if you haven't yet, and add me to your favorites so you'll be the first one to know once the video is out. Please check the description box for more information. You can also submit topics or questions so we can talk about it. Plus, get your free guide below if you haven't yet, or sign up to my email community so any new video will be emailed straight to your inbox, especially if you don't have time to go through all those clicks. That's it, and if you reached this part of the video, thank you so much, and see you on the next one. Explore and learn more about the freelancing world by downloading my free guide called the Freelance Starter Kit. It's available in the description box below. Make sure that your email address is active, and please check both your inbox and spam folders after you're done signing up. You'll also see a link where you can submit your questions about freelancing so I can talk more about those in my upcoming videos. Thank you, and see ya!